Hi there. So I'm here to share about the biome portion of brain body biome that I love sharing around. And I'm going to share a little bit about my personal journey. Many of you know that I have had a lifelong journey around gut health, which finally ended up in a diagnosis of celiac. And that was great. I felt like I had answers, but then I had to do a lot of healing around that, healing my gut, my digestive system, and my body's response to inflammation. It's also an autoimmune issue. And now I keep on top of my gut health. And I recently had something show up, kind of surprised me, that reminded me I needed to go to a different level of gut healing or go back to some of the tools I've used. And it started this early winter when I had a whole rash on the side of my neck, on my face, up to my eye, very uncomfortable. I think of myself as someone that's not too focused on outward appearance. I want to look my best, but I was feeling somewhat inhibited about how it looked as well. And I knew that something was going on in my body. I immediately thought gut because the gut is going to be tied to the skin. I immediately thought about my liver because the liver rules skin and joints. So I started on some liver healing, which I can share about. But I wanted to have some data. I wanted some information on what was going on with my gut. And one of the best ways through the years that I have found personally, and I know I have clients that have found this helpful too, is to have the food sensitivity testing panel done, the IgG, delayed food sensitivity. So not IgE, like my husband eating shellfish could cause him to go into anaphylaxis. These are more delayed sensitivities that could show up in headaches, constipation, diarrhea, joint pain, for example. So it had been, I usually get it tested every year or two, and I started getting it tested about 20 years ago, and I have come so far. I'm so grateful to have come so far since those first tests because I would have so many foods, 36 foods on there, even things like strawberries, very health promoting, right? But my body was inflamed because of it because I had a leaky gut and it just set off this whole cycle of inflammation. And every year or two, I get it tested. And so I decided after the skin eruption that it was probably a bit overdue. And it was. It had been a little bit longer. I think it was 2.5 years ago that I had it tested. So I got the testing. And sure enough, I had the test results come back and you have all these foods. You can choose a smaller panel of foods or larger. I go with larger because it covers things like hemp seed and whatnot that I eat. And you're told what things are not causing reactions and what are. And I was so bummed to see some of my favorite foods coming up, like hemp seed and chickpeas and cashews and carrots. And I know you're all thinking, wait, those are healthy foods. They are, but my body was reacting to them. So I started eliminating them, and very quickly the rash started to dissipate. So I felt some confirmation that what I was doing was on the right track. And then I thought about how a lot of the foods that I eat regularly, like the hemp seeds and the chia seeds, and even lettuce this time showed up. I know, lettuce, right? All of those foods are in my diet regularly. And it reminded me that I am not very good with rotating my foods. I eat the same foods over and over. I'm a creature of habit. I know what I like. I love those foods. I enjoy them. And so I'll eat them pretty regularly. So I was like, okay, body, you're reminding me with a big, strong message that I need to get back to rotating foods through. And so I'm being better about rotating foods. And that can be as simple as changing up my greens. I love Swiss chard, I love sauteed spinach, but let's change it up. So I saw some beautiful baby bok choy at the market recently, got that, loved it, forgot how much I love it. So that was an easy swap out to help with the rotation. And I also decided to do some NAET treatment, N-A-E-T, N as in Nancy, A-E-T. And that stands for Nambudripod's Allergy Elimination Technique. It uses acupressure, acupuncture, and or chiropractic to help you move beyond allergens. And I've used it in the past and had great results. So I decided I was going to invest in some of that. I'm not going to get all the foods that came up. I mean, there's certain foods that I don't eat often on there, like tangerine. I don't have a hankering for tangerine, so I'm not going to clear NAET. because it takes time and money. So I'm just going to choose the ones that are most important to me. So I've had hemp cleared, I've had cashew cleared, which is so exciting. I can bring those back in. So I'm bringing in the NATE treatment. And I'm looking at the IgG testing as very informative for me because it really is tied into inflammation, not just of the gut, but like I said, joint pain and so forth. So really feeling and sensing when I take the foods out, when I get better about rotating, when I remove the foods and then bring them back in after NATE treatment, really checking in and noticing. I'm doing the dropping in and noticing techniques that I talk about in all of my programs. And that's been very, very helpful. And then supporting the liver health and looking at liver because it rules skin and joints, and not just liver as in what supplements. Sure, I'm taking certain supplements and getting in the sauna, but also looking at liver exercises, doing the liver organ mobilizations like I share in Poop Camp. Excuse me. And also doing exercises for a deep nervous system level of support, like the spinal galant and spinal Perez, which are also featured. Some of those are in Poop Camp. And just helping my body be ready to have the roots of elimination open, because basically I'm cleansing with this IgG food removal. I'm cleansing and detoxifying inflammation. I need to make sure all my roots of elimination are open. And I can share more about that. I talk a lot about that with my clients, supporting them when they have the IgG testing done if they so choose. And use the visceral hands-on work to support their organs when they're trying to detoxify. And so I'm doing a lot of those techniques, and I can share about that. But I just wanted to let you know, even though I feel like I've done a lot of gut healing through the years, there's always new pieces to attend to. And I maybe got a little bit lax with rotating my foods and eating the same foods over and over. And my body, in the form of this rash, really showed up and told me, you better pay attention and do something about this. And I'm grateful that I did. I'll be sharing more about what I'm doing on this journey. So feel free to drop questions in the comments if you have certain areas that you're curious about. And if you want to feel some of these organ exercises I talked about and my nervous system approach to gut health, go check out my free program, Brain Body Biome Gift. That is a few videos teaching you some of these exercises, and it's available at the link in the bio or at my website, inspiredwell.com. I'll be back sharing more soon, but for now, I hope that you move forward towards health and vitality.